Imagine starting up Stardew Valley, but this time you are not allowed to touch your pickaxe, no mining and no stepping foot into the caves at all. At first glance, that probably sounds like a really bad idea, but that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. Hey everyone, my name is Extreme, and in this run, I challenged myself to complete the community center without ever swinging a pickaxe or setting foot in the mines. Spoiler alert, it gets tricky, it gets creative, and it turns Stardew Valley into a complete different kind of challenge. So if you're into cozy but chaotic challenge runs, grab a snack, get comfy, and join me on this no mining community center journey through Pelican Town. But before we dive into the gameplay, let's quickly go over the rules. There are only 2 rules on this challenge, and one sneaky little side note that might just make my life even harder. Rule number 1, I can't use pickaxe at all, it's banned for the entire run. Rule number 2, I can't use the mines, not the regular ones, not Skull Cavern, not the quarry mine, nothing. The only exception is grabbing the rusty sword from Marlon at the start, since that's gonna be pretty handy later on. Side note, I also won't be using any farm based quarries like the Hilltop farm quarry or the Four Corners farm quarry. That would make things a little easy, and I want this challenge to actually be a challenge. If I need a query, I'll have to unlock the main one the proper way. As for the goal, yep, it's exactly what you read in the title, completing the community center. But let's turn up the pressure. I have to pull it off within the first year. Now 1 year is normally enough time to finish the community center, but is it enough when you can't mine at all? Let's find out. Now picking the right farm layout for this challenge isn't exactly game changing, but I still think it deserves its own section. As I mentioned earlier, Hilltop farm and Four Corners farm are off the table. At first I thought about going with the Wilderness farm since I needed to slay monsters for some community center items, but then I remembered you can just enable the spawn monsters option in the advanced settings and get them on any farm, so no need to lock myself into the Wilderness farm just for that. Instead I wanted a farm that gives me the most value right from day 1, and I've got just the one, Meadowlands farm. What's so special about it? This map starts you with 2 chickens and a free coop, a building that normally takes 100 stones to construct. That's huge for this challenge because without a pickaxe, getting stones is going to be, let's just say, a nightmare. We'll dig into that problem later, but for now, let's kick off the challenge. I started by creating my character, named the farm No Mining, picked this cat, turned on the spawn monsters on farm option, and went with the Meadowlands farm. Since it's an animal centric farm, the run began with 15 hay instead of parsnip seeds, but within minutes the first problem showed up: stone debris. I can't remove it. God bless my eyes, I have to build my farming area around random rocks. Before discovering problem number 2, I dumped my pickaxe into a chest as soon as I could, then planted kale and mixed seeds. Monsters were also spawning on the farm, but I needed a sword. Fighting them with a scythe felt more like tickling them. Problem number 2, the farm cave is blocked by stones. It's not urgent yet, but it will be later. For now, I completed a quest for Penny, got my fishing rod, and made my first 320 gold of the run. Fishing is going to carry a lot of the challenge. By day 3, I was selling eggs too. It was raining, so I went after catfish. Big mistake. All I got was mental trauma and 745 gold from eggs and fish. Catfish and I are now sworn enemies for life. Then came the problem number 3. The upper mountain path was also blocked by stones. That meant taking the long way around Robins every time I wanted to look for leaks. Good times. I kept fishing and selling eggs for gold while expanding the farm. On day 5, I adopted the cat, named it Milo, and sold my first crops. The community center and mines opened. I planted seeds for the community center bundles. After drinking a questionable potion from the wizard, I completed the spring foraging bundle and got 30 spring seeds. Then I gave a leek to George and a daffodil to Emily. Why them specifically? Introducing game plan 1. Increase friendship with George and Emily. George sometimes mails you 35 stones, which is a precious resource in this run. Emily can mail you a piece of wool, which is mandatory for the community center. The more hearts you have with each of the NPCs, the more chances of getting those gift letters. So from now on, I'm talking to them daily, giving George leeks because he loves them, and Emily daffodils. She only likes daffodils, but her loved gifts are kinda hard to get in this run. Also, I'm raising friendship with Penny just because, well, no grand plan, I just like her. Normally, I skip planting spring seeds, but I need a steady leek and daffodil supply, so I planted all of them. I even pulled some copper ore from a fishing treasure chest. Next, I got the furnace recipe from Clint, sold my kale, and saw that the traveling merchant was selling 1 stone for 800 gold. Like what? Does it comes with a diamond too? I planted 30 parsnips and 14 cauliflowers, added fertilizer to some parsnips to aim for 5 gold quality ones. On day 8, I got a trash catalog from a garbage can and made it useful by taking a plastic chair and setting it in the mountain path so I could hop over the stones blocking my way. I also pulled 2 geodes from the ocean. The next day, I picked up the rusty sword from Marlon and hit farming level 2, unlocking sprinklers, which I can't really make because copper and iron are a pain without mining. I submitted my first museum artifact, bought the fiberglass rod for 1800 gold plus some bait, completed a quest for Jody and got a prize ticket, and exchanging that ticket got me 12 carrot seeds. I fought some monsters at night. It was too dark to see without a gloating, so I really needed one. I got an amethyst from a slime, great news because Emily loves them. I ended the day with 2013 gold. Unfortunately, I only got 3 gold quality parsnips, so I replanted more. Luckily, I found 2 more amethyst in a fishing chest, completed another quest for Penny, and even found an omni geode in the trash. I got a large brown egg for the community center the next day and started gathering materials for my first furnace. To make a furnace, I needed 25 stones and 20 copper ores. I had 8 copper ores from fishing treasure. From cracking the geodes, I pulled another 8 coppers, 5 coals and 2 artifacts. I bought 9 more copper ores for 75 gold each and donated the artifact. The traveling merchant was selling a red cabbage seed for 1000 gold. Since red cabbage is a mandatory item for the community center and you can't get it anywhere else during the first year except from the traveling merchant, I had no choice but to buy it. Now let's talk about the hardest items for this challenge required for the community center. Without mining, there are 10 of them. Honorable mentions: copper, iron and gold bars. Normally you would mine for them, but you can just buy these from the blacksmith. That's why they didn't make it to the real list. Starting with the easiest one, stone. We need 99 stones for the community center, plus more for upgrading the coop, building and upgrading the barn, and bunch of other things. George can send 35 stones in letters, but that's not reliable since we need so many. You can buy stones from Robin for 20 gold each, which is pretty expensive. What about bombs? Cherry bomb needs mining level 1, and without a pickaxe or any bombs, I can't reach that level. Panning also gives you mining speed, but that's not efficient, and the fish tank also needs to be completed for that. So what's left? Here's a hidden trick I didn't know about. Game plan 2. Fishing in the fountain near the community center. This spot has a high chance of catching 1 stone per catch. You can also reel in wood or decorative trash cans, but mostly stones. I started fishing there to gather the 25 stones I needed for my furnace. It's a bit time consuming to hook anything here, but we'll fix that later. I got 12 stones that day and also leveled up in fishing while collecting stones. I hit level 5 and picked the fisher profession. The next day I got a large white egg and headed to the egg festival. I bought 20 strawberry seeds, beat Abigail's record and won the straw hat. Back at the farm, I planted all the strawberries. I kept up the gift giving, handing out presents to George, Emily and Penny. Then I noticed Haley standing alone by the fountain, so I gave her a gift too, and turns out it was her birthday. You're welcome, madam. I absolutely knew that from the start. After that, I kept collecting stones and noticed I was catching them pretty quickly until I realized I had been accidentally using bait the whole time. I didn't know bait affected catches here too. Without bait, fishing for stones was taking way too long. Since bait costs only 5 gold each compared to Robin's 20 gold stones, I decided it was worth using bait on purpose. I also checked the traveling card, but nothing special was there that day. Once I had enough stones, I finally crafted my furnace and smelted my first copper ingot. Now let's talk about the second item on the list, bat wings. I need 10 of them for the adventures bundle, and thanks to the monster spawning on the farm setting, this one's very easy. On day 15, the parsnips were ready, but I only got 1 gold quality parsnip. That means I still need 1 more for the quality crops bundle. On the bright side, the bean and cauliflower were done too, so I wrapped up the spring crops bundle, snagged 20 dealer speed grow and unlocked the boiler room. The next day, I dropped off a bunch of fish and the 2 large eggs at the community center. I also bought 15 parsnip seeds and 20 kale seeds and pulled another trash catalog out of the garbage can. And yeah, you probably noticed I have been spending most of my days fishing. Sure, it's good for gold, but that's not the main reason. See, out of the 8 remaining problem items on my list, 5 can be fished up from treasure chests. You can get stones from them too, but not many. Still, it's a chance. So fishing is one of the 2 big strategies I need for this run. The other one, we'll get to that later. On day 17, I got the first item out of the 5 I needed from the fishing treasure chest, a frozen geode for the field research bundle. That's 1 item down, 9 to go. Not counting stones, we still need 99 of those for the construction bundle. The next few days went as usual: farm chores, friendship grinding, fishing for gold and treasure. I completed Robin's lost axe quest and Jody's cauliflower request, got a large milk from the traveling merchant, finally got enough gold parsnips, and even dug up a combat XP book that gave me my first combat level. Day 21 was a big one. I harvested strawberries and kale, but I also got lucky. The next item on the list is either void essence or solar essence. My original plan was to grind combat XP until level 8 when shadow brutes can spawn on the farm. They have have a 75% chance to drop void essence, but when I saw how low the monster spawn rate actually was, I switched gears and started collecting sunfish instead, aiming for a sunfish pond. Once you get 10 in a pond, they can produce solar essence. That plan went out of the window when I spotted a void essence at the traveling cart, bought it instantly, 2 items off the list now, which also meant I could finally sell all the sunfish I'd been hoarding. Huge relief because the pond needs 200 stones and I'm already tight on those. It was raining that day, so I went after catfish and eel. I went to a shop, bought some bait and a barber, which was smart except for the part where my fishing rod can't actually use a barber. Oops. Still, I reeled in plenty of catfish and eel, plus a diamond, 2 stones and an artifact from treasure chest. I even pulled 3 iron ore from a trash can, sold everything I caught, hit level 5 in farming and chose the tiller profession. Ended the day with 7,794 gold. Great day. The next morning, Demetria stopped by and I chose the fruit bass for the cave, dropped off more items at the community center, then checked the bookseller and found something interesting, a mining XP book. Remember, to craft cherry bombs I need mining level 1, but without a pickaxe I couldn't get there. This book gives you 250 XP, which is more than enough to hit level 1. It was 8,000 gold, but worth every coin. I also repaired the beach bridge, set up 2 crab pots by the river and fished up 2 amethyst and a geode from a treasure chest. Day 23 brought the legendary garbage hat, which would have been the highlight, except the flower dance was the next day and I only had 3 hearts with Penny. I gave her a diamond, but still 3 hearts, which means I'll be awkwardly standing alone while everyone else dances. I did a quick quest for Sam and scored a prize ticket, which I traded in for a peach sapling, planted that, turned in more items at the community center and completed the adventurers bundle. That's 3 items down, 7 to go, and mystery boxes finally started appearing. I crafted my first cherry bomb and blew up the rocks blocking the fruit cave. The flower dance went exactly as expected. Penny politely declined. I did my aura recovery walk away from her, then stood on the sidelines pretending it didn't sting. The next morning, strawberries were ready again, and of course I hit 4 hearts with Penny the day after the dance. Thanks game. I got a snail from the crab pot, which completed the crab pot bundle, and yep, my reward was 3 more crab pots. Then I bought 35 copper ore, crafted a tapper and smelted 5 bars to prep for an axe upgrade. Over the next 2 days, I handed my axe to Clint for upgrading, bought more copper ore for future cherry bombs and hit level 6 farming and level 8 fishing. Finally, the last day of spring arrived. Time to say goodbye to the strawberries. Even though they only fruit twice, they brought in good gold. The traveling merchant had goat milk for sale. I needed large goat milk for the community center, but normal goat milk can be turned into goat cheese, so I grabbed it. Then came the panic. Emily's birthday was yesterday. I knew that beforehand, but completely forgot until it had already passed. And the worst part, I had an amethyst, her favorite gift, ready for a special day. Missing a birthday in this game is absolutely one of the worst feelings. I still gave it to her today, hoping I could at least redeem myself a little. Collected my shiny copper axe and then I pulled a genius move again. Bought another bobber. Even though I still don't own a fishing rod that can use bobbers, I don't know how I keep forgetting that. This season we made some good progress, finished a few bundles and dropped off a decent pile of items at the community center, but the difficult items list still looking way too long, and to be honest, the hardest part hasn't even started yet. Before we dive into the next chapter, I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who watched the last video and of course everyone watching this one right now. The support has been so unreal. Honestly, every time I read your comments, I can't stop smiling. And also, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps and every single subscriber counts. Welcome to summer, a season with a lot of things to turn in at the community center. I kicked it off by making some cherry bombs and clearing the farming area to give my eyes a little relief. In the process, I accidentally blew up my scarecrow, so I placed another. This season, I'm going all out on farming. I can't afford sprinklers yet, but I still need a lot of money. On day 1, I bought seeds for the community center, plus 41 blueberry seeds and 20 corn seeds. The next day, I bought 20 melon seeds. I planted them, but I wasn't satisfied yet, so I bought 25 more. I know I'll waste a lot of time watering, but I still want to try it. I also started collecting hardwood with my new axe. On day 3, I completed the summer foraging bundle and got 30 summer seeds. I'm not planting them, I'm not a big fan of forage crop seeds. I also started getting iridium quality fish, but only sometimes. And from a treasure chest, I pulled an ancient seed, pretty great. The next day, it was time to plant more. I bought a poppy, a sunflower and 9 wheat seeds for the community center. I already had 1 wheat from mixed seeds. Then I caught the tilapia and the puffer fish for the community center. And let's say CC instead of community center from now on. After that, I submitted the ancient seed and another artifact at the museum and got an actual ancient seed to plant and 9 melon seeds. Yeah, I did mean it when I said I'm going all out on farming. I planted everything, used deluxe speed grow on the ancient seed, not sure if it works, and fertilized the melon seeds since I need 5 gold quality ones. I placed another scarecrow to be safe, ended the day at foraging level 5 and picked the gatherer profession. On day 5, I set up a maple tree layout for mushroom logs. Maple trees with mushroom logs can give you red mushrooms and have a 10% chance for purple mushrooms, both needed for the CC. I also started getting iridium quality large eggs. On day 6, I caught a sturgeon, cooked a fried egg and a maki roll and turned them in at the CC, completing the lake fish bundle. The next day was green rain. The traveling merchant had nothing special, so I cut weeds all day. Checking the merchant matters a lot right now. I already got red cabbage seeds in spring, but I still need one more item I can only get from the merchant, the ghost fish. Since I don't have access to any of the mines, the merchant is my only shot. We have plenty of visits left this year, so I'm not too worried yet. The green rain harvest was big: 228 moss, 461 fiber, 21 mixed flower seeds, 23 mixed seeds, 42 fiddlehead ferns and 2 mossy seeds. A meteorite also landed on my farm, which is pretty useless for this run too. I used the moss I collected from green rain to craft 2 mushroom logs and place them between the maple trees. On day 9, I grabbed the price ticket behind the bookseller's stall and got 10 mixed seeds. The next day, I pulled a red snapper out of a garbage can, which was perfect because I needed that exact fish for the CC. And this is a good time to mention something important. Remember earlier when I said I had 2 strategies for this challenge? Well, this is the second one: checking garbage cans. From the very start, I've been making it a habit to peek inside them almost every day. Why? Because besides fishing, I can get an earth crystal from the trash cans, but the last item I need, quartz, can only be logically obtained by garbage cans in this challenge, unless you somehow have a fish pond with at least 3 ghost fish. But let's be real, I'm not even getting 1 ghost fish, so that's not happening. So yeah, from day 1, I've been checking through Pelican Town's trash like a dedicated sewer rat. I just hope nobody tells Bunny. That same day, something great happened. I got the earth crystal, and not from fishing or a garbage can, but from a geode. Yeah, some items on the list have multiple sources like this, but others, well, they have only got 1 shot. 4 items down, 6 to go. On day 11, I harvested the poppy. It also happened to be luau, so I gave the governor a little taste of an iridium quality large egg, and he seemed to enjoy it. The next day, I had to move my scarecrows because a crow was having an early morning chat with one of my plants. Luckily, my tomato and sunflower were ready, and the mushroom logs gave me 5 common and 5 red mushrooms. And then finally it happened. I got the ghost fish from the traveling merchant. What a relief. Now the only thing I'm really worried about is the quartz, but I can't say anything since we still have 5 difficult items left. Day 13, one of the melons and the red cabbage were ready to harvest. I gave the melon to Gus since he was offering 750 gold for it, and I still had plenty more growing in the field. It was also a lightning storm kinda day, and since I didn't have any lightning dots for obvious reasons, I went to bed early to protect the crops. The next morning turned out to be a great one. My farm was bursting with crops, loads of blueberries and melons. I kept some for the CC and sold the rest. One plant did get hit by lightning, but just one, so it's okay. Also, to be clear, I can't make artisan equipments as they need so many stones. That's why I sold the batch normally. Then I finally checked the fruit cave for the first time all season and found a pile waiting: an apricot, 2 peaches, 2 pomegranates, a cherry and some blackberries, all CC items. And to top it off, the traveling merchant came through again with a truffle, meaning I no longer need to build a deluxe barn. If I can grab a few more animal products this way, I can skip the normal and large barns too, saving me from some brutal stone grinding. And here's a quick cool item submission montage. Okay, maybe it wasn't that cool, but I did drop off a lot of items at the CC that day. The day ended with level 7 farming and 17,804 gold in my pocket. Pretty epic, but we have still got a long road ahead. Day 15, Jody sent me a quality fertilizer. Yes, Jody, the same lady I only have 2 hearts of friendship with. Learn something, George and Emily. I completed the quality cross bundle and earned myself a shiny new preserves jar. Now shopping spree time. I picked up an apple sapling, an iridium fishing rod, 2 more treasure hunter barbers, and some deluxe bait. That last purchase, let's just call it questionable. Turns out the recipe is so simple, I could have made plenty myself. Oh, well. I planted the apple sapling, popped a peach into the preserves jar to start making jelly, and upgraded all my regular bait into deluxe bait. This season I'd been holding off on serious fishing until I had the iridium rod. The barber I'd been using gave a slight boost to treasure chest odds, but not enough to brag about. I only pulled one treasure chest all day. Still, its main job is to stop fish from escaping while catching the treasure, so I couldn't complain. And is it bobber or barber? I say barber, but I don't really know is it correct or not. Still, if I'm pronouncing some of the words wrong, just bear it somehow, please. And I think it's bear it instead of beer it, like medicine beer. Okay, I'm getting distracted. No more pronunciation talk. Let's keep moving. The next day, I harvested and sold the last of the melons. It was a thunderstorm kind of day, and I didn't want to risk my precious ancient plant, so I went to bed early. Now it was time to start prepping for a coop upgrade. Friendship with ducks and rabbits takes time, so the sooner the better. I already had the gold for the big coop. I just needed 103 more stones. 47 is already in storage, 150 stones required. After enjoying Emily's signature dance moves, I stocked up on 100 bait and went fishing for stones. The results? A whole day of fishing, and all I got were 13 stones and 6 decorative cans. Guess Emily's dance wasn't that lucky after all. The next day I harvested blueberries and collected my first jelly. It was another thunderstorm day, but I decided not to care anymore. I crafted 3 magnets to boost treasure chest odds, thinking they were barbers, but nope, they are baits for some reason. And baits are one-time use, which meant I'd just wasted an iron bar. Classic. Now let's talk about the next plan, game plan 3. So the game plan 3 is pretty simple, fish a lot. The simple reason being I need gold and treasure chests, but that's not all. My ultimate goal is to hit level 10 fishing so I can pick the pirate profession, which doubles your chances of finding treasure chests. I'm already at level 9, but the last level, yeah, it takes the most XP and the longest time. I was getting a decent amount of treasure chests, but not the things I was looking for. Copper ores, stones, frozen geodes, more copper ores. Still, they are useful resources. On day 19, I bought 22 iron ore to prep for an axe upgrade and 50 copper ore to make bombs for stone gathering. Turns out without the quarry, it wasn't that efficient, and in the process, I accidentally destroyed a hidden owl statue and again one of my scarecrows. Rest in peace both of you, your sacrifice will be remembered, probably. So after all that brainstorming, I had to go to Robin for help anyway, and it wasn't nearly as expensive as I'd feared. Sometimes I overcomplicate things, okay? I upgraded the coop and my axe and joined the trout derby. By the end of the day, I had 2 golden tags which I traded for a tent kit and 3 omni geodes. The next day, I bought an iridium bar from the traveling merchant so I could make an iridium sprinkler. I got a cave carrot from a trash can, bought some iron and gold from Clint, and dropped off a pile of items at the CC, completing the ocean fish bundle in the process. Day 22, the big coop was done. I harvested blueberries, bought 100 more stones from Robin, and picked up my shiny new steel axe. Since I needed a battery pack for the iridium sprinkler, I crafted a recycling machine to get refined quartz for a lightning rod. With it, recycled broken glasses, got the refined quartz, and made a lightning rod. Now all I needed was another storm. I even made a trip to the secret woods, got a wood skip, and ended the day with 7,925 gold. Not bad. The next day, I visited the fruit cave again and got an apple, 3 oranges, and a few other fruits. I was ready to buy ducks for the new coop, but Marnie was off wandering instead of working, so I finally treated myself to the backpack upgrade. Honestly, it felt like upgrading from a broom closet to a penthouse suite. With the orange from earlier, I completed the artisan bundle, earned a keg, and got some wine brewing. That day, I finally landed another item, an aquamarine. After so long, crossing it off the list felt amazing. On day 24, I finally got my ducks, 4 of them, along with 40 hay. I replaced the broken fences and found a book that grants a 5% chance for double wood drops. The friendship spree was still going strong, and then finally I hit fishing level 10. The angler profession's extra 50% fish sale price was tempting, but for the sake of the challenge, I stayed loyal to my pirate plan. Day 26 brought the last blueberry harvest of summer. Nothing special from the traveling merchant, but I got a gold bar from a trash can. Back at the community center, I wrapped up the blacksmiths and chef's bundle, earning a furnace and 3 pink cakes. My fishing was on fire. I was getting iridium fishes every time on perfect catches. Even better, the treasure chests were showing up more often, and from one of them, I got a book that grants chances of getting fish roe and treasure chests. That night's combined fish and blueberry sales brought in 12,593 gold. The next day, I got the battery pack I'd been waiting for and dedicated the entire day to fishing. Another chest, another win. This one had a fire quartz, 7 rare items down, only 3 to go. And with Robin as my stone supplier, the 99 stones delivery to the community center could be done anytime. So let's check that off too. That day's sales total 10,716 gold. The gold was flowing, and it finally felt like all the grinding was paying off. And finally, the last day of summer, and what what a day it was. First, I bought a pile of stones from Robin and kicked off the coop upgrade. The sooner I get rabbits, the sooner I can chase that elusive rabbit's foot. Then the traveling merchant hit me with some fantastic news. Say that again. She was selling a large goat milk. Okay guys, editing stream here, and it wasn't that fantastic because I was on my way of getting rabbits anyway. At this moment, I totally forgot that rabbits can drop wool too. I was thinking about sheep and barns, I guess, which unfortunately also meant Emily was now, well, kind of useless. No need for wool anymore, and I can just submit a duck egg instead. But hey, she's still a great friend, and her dance moves remain unmatched. Next stop was cracking open some frozen geodes, hoping for a frozen tear, but unfortunately I didn't get any. I would have said that, but a treasure chest popped open to reveal exactly that, 2 frozen tears. Like I said, it wasn't just a good day, it was an epic one, and honestly the whole summer has been pretty amazing. We've made huge progress at the community center and at the top items list. Now there's just one left, the one I'm most nervous about. Fall, don't fail me now. Fall is here, and so is my very first ancient fruit. I immediately thought about making an iridium sprinkler, only to realize the crafting recipe wasn't unlocked yet. At least my ducks grew up and started laying eggs. Like always, I grabbed some seeds from the community center, then bought 30 cranberries and reeled in a tiger trout. The next morning, the wine was ready, and so was the deluxe scoop. And it was a special day for me because it was Penny's birthday. I handed her a melon, and just like that, 8 hearts unlocked. I finished the day fishing up a walleye, completing both the river fish and night fish bundles, which finally rewarded me with a glow ring. And while I was at it, I wrapped up the animal bundle and the fall foraging bundle too. Even though I technically had every fishing related item I needed, I still spent the later half of most of my days fishing just for gold. Day 3 brought a special order, 10 midnight carbs, challenge accepted. The next day I bought my first rabbit and some hay. That same day, Vincent casually mentioned that Sam had lifted Penny up into a tree last night. Excuse me? Well, I reacted the way a mature, responsible adult should. I marched straight into Penny and proposed. Huh? She said yes. Sure, my house was still just one crumpled room with no kitchen, but hey, we'll work on that later. Better luck next time, Sam. Meanwhile, I crafted 3 more mushroom logs since I wasn't getting a purple mushroom. I also got 2 diamonds and 1 dinosaur egg from a treasure chest. I don't have a real use for the dinosaur egg right now. By the end of the day, I'd complete the carp quest and claimed 1870 gold. Day 5, I finally gave up on hoarding mushrooms and sold the pile rotting in my chest. Bought another rabbit too. The special order price ticket gave me a star drop tea, which I instantly handed to Penny, maxing her hearts. Meanwhile, I was battling some slippery, obnoxious super cucumbers. Seriously, can this fish just calm down for 5 seconds? Day 6, I bought my third and final rabbit and had Robin start on a silo. Quick reminder, yes, I was still dumpster diving every single day. Later that night, a cute little bathhouse cutscene with Penny happened, and honestly, who think up this dialogue options? The next few days were just non-stop fishing. On day 7, I picked up a moral and nautilus shell from the traveling cart. I could have just found them myself, but laziness won. On day 8, I harvested cranberries, stocked the silo with hay, and sold a few treasure chest diamonds. Oh, and can someone explain how the fish quality algorithm works? I was getting regular fish on perfect catches. Still, I walked away with 13,612 gold that day. Epic. Day 9, I got the duck feather needed for the bulletin board. I also got a treasure chest inside a treasure chest while fishing. Hit farming level 9 and finally unlocked the iridium sprinkler recipe. Earnings that day, 10,764 gold. Another great haul. Day 10, I finally got purple mushrooms. I placed my first iridium sprinkler and got wool I no longer needed. Then I built a seed maker and immediately got scammed. I put an ancient fruit in and it gave me 3 mixed seeds. What? The odds of that were 1.99%. The game clearly has it out for me. Luckily, the next fruit gave me an ancient seed. At the community center, I dropped off more items, completing the dye bundle, which rewarded me with another seed maker. Are you kidding me? I just made that 2 minutes ago. I also finished the field research bundle, exotic foraging bundle, and 3 vault bundles, 25,000, 5,000, and 2,500 gold. Only the 10,000 gold one left. That night, I also crafted a bait maker, and starting from the next day, it made catching specific fish a lot easier. Fish like salmon, catfish, super cucumber, midnight carp, etc. The watering task also got much easier thanks to the iridium sprinkler. Still no quartz. On day 13, I wrapped up the vault room, which meant the bus was fixed overnight. On day 14, the pumpkin and the yam were ready, so I completed the pantry. Even better, the traveling merchant was selling a rabbit's foot, and since I don't trust my rabbits at all, I bought it immediately. Too happy to contain myself, I did a little dance in front of Jazz. Later that day, I made my first desert trip, caught a sand sandfish, finished Linus's special order, and earned another prize ticket. To top it off, the greenhouse was repaired overnight. The next day, Penny gave me another prize ticket, which I redeemed for a bed and 4 quality sprinklers. I also started upgrading the farmhouse with a real kitchen finally in sight. Day 16 was the Stardew Valley fair, which meant no trash can run. I wasn't after anything from the shop, so I focused on the grains display. I proudly put down my 9 precious mixed seeds, but the mayor did not appreciate my artistry and ranked me 4th. Guess I didn't realize those seeds had already earned me over 5,000 views in my first video, and because they meant so much to me, I completely forgot to pick them back up afterward. Yeah, they were gone. At least I made up for it by checking every trash can at midnight. Day 17, relief, I found my precious mixed seeds again. That day I also completed the fish tank, the bulletin board, and the construction bundle, which left me with only 2 obstacles: the winter foraging bundle, which is pretty easy, just need to wait for winter, and the quartz. And look at how cute these Junimos are. They were following me around. With nearly everything done, right now my plan is to skip through days, only taking care of important stuff, and most importantly, make sure no trash can escapes my inspection until winter. Let's get moving. Besides checking trash can, I was also doing quick tasks like harvesting and selling crops, honey, and fruit. On day 19, the traveling merchant sold me a ghost fish, which brings me to the next game plan, Game Plan 4. So Game Plan 4 is basically an addition to checking trash cans. Remember when I mentioned there's another way to get quartz through a fish pond with 3 ghost fish? Well, I looked it up and turns out even a single ghost fish can reproduce in a pond. So I had Robin start on a fish pond on day 20. When it was ready by day 22, I tossed the ghost fish inside and waited. And on day 24, something unexpected happened, but not in a good way. The fish was asking me for 5 quartz. Like, are you serious, bro? Since when do fish make demands? To be honest, I've never used a fish pond before. So yeah, we learn something new every day. I checked the wiki and it turns out the fish isn't gonna change its request. So the pond is basically useless to me, at least until I somehow get 2 more ghost fish from the traveling merchant. That way I'd have 3 and finally start getting quartz. But honestly, that feels pretty impossible. So back to square one. Trash cans are still my only source. On day 27, it was Speed's Eve. I grabbed the golden pumpkin and went back to farm at 12 AM. I made a sacrifice to check all the trash cans anyway, losing 1000 gold for sleeping on the ground, but honestly, still worth it. And that's how the last day of fall came around. Now, I'll be honest, this season wasn't too bad. I did a lot of grinding for quartz and came up empty, but on the bright side, we completed everything at the community center except the winter foraging bundle. So now it all comes down to one last item. We've got 1 month left, and if you do the math, that's 224 chances to check trash cans. And hey, 1 out of those 224 has to be a quartz, right? At least I hope. And here begins the final chapter. This one's short because we're skipping ahead to hunt for the quartz. And guess what? Robin sent me some wood in the mail. Yep, the lady I only have 3 hearts of friendship with. Still no gift from George or Emily though. Honestly, it feels like every single game plan I made in this video just failed. I also stepped into the coop for the first time in forever and found it overflowing with animal products. That little surprise earned me over 11,000 gold in a single day. Not bad. On day 2, I got a sandfish from a garbage can. I completed the crafts room, which meant there was officially just 1 item left. So naturally, it was time for an epic trash can diving montage. And that's how on day 22 I finally got the quartz. I can't even explain how happy I was. I dug through all these items all winter long before finally finding it. But that was the last piece, and with it, the challenge officially ends. Now, to be honest, I almost gave up. I'd been checking trash cans since the start of the challenge, and with only 8 days left, I was mentally preparing my speech about failing the challenge. It's natural, right? I mean, do you know how many trash cans I've checked in this run? Too many. So yeah, I lost hope for a while. And guess what? I actually managed to buy 2 ghost fish from the traveling merchant during that time. Perfect for my fish pond plan, right? Well, nope. Turns out the pond only has room for 1 until you finish the first quest. So yeah, that side plan was also a flop. Did any of my strategies actually work in this video? I honestly don't know, but what matters is that we did it. We completed the community center without using pickaxe or stepping foot in the mines. I did hit mining level 1, but that was just from reading a book. So really it was power of knowledge, not mining. And that wraps up this chaotic challenge run. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So naturally, it was time for an epic trash can diving montage. Is it montage or montage? It's montage. What is it? Montage. Montage. Okay. Montage. Montage. Montage.